Good evening. Welcome to the first ever TAPPI Virtual Fellows Induction Ceremony. I am Pete Augustine, TAPPI Chairman of the Board, and I'd like to thank you for being here tonight to honor our newest TAPPI Fellows. Each of our new inductees has earned the title of TAPPI Fellow in recognition of exemplary service to TAPPI and to our industry. It is a distinction reserved for only a small percentage of our membership. But before we present our Fellows Class of 2020, I want to introduce you to my co-host, Larry Montague, TAPPI President and CEO.
Thank you, Pete. These past few months have certainly been challenging for each of us as we turned our focus on the health and well-being of our families, friends, and colleagues. These months have also shown us just how amazing our industry is. We've heard stories of our industry pulling together to help others in need, whether it be delivering critical aid and supplies to local and global communities, or responding to increased demand for essential products crucial to daily life. Our industry has quickly pivoted to meet the growing global demand for pulp, paper, tissue, nonwovens, and packaging. You've helped support the world during this crisis, and TAPPI salutes these united efforts. Working together, we are stronger and better. Today, we specifically honor those who have made valuable contributions to our association and to our industry. It is our privilege to thank them for their achievements and service to others. But first, let us observe a moment of silence in remembrance of our members who have passed away this year. Very sad thing. While not with us today, their important contributions to our industry remain a legacy. Thank you.
TAPPI's true strength is its members, and we would like to honor all those celebrating their 50th anniversary with TAPPI this year. We would also like to recognize our 25-year members and thank each of them for their loyalty to TAPPI over the years. This year, we're happy to recognize two of our sustaining corporate members celebrating landmark anniversaries. WestRock has reached its 100-year anniversary. They became a sustaining member only 5 years after TAPPI was founded and have been a loyal member ever since. It has been a great partnership, and we look forward to the next 100 years. BHS Corrugated North America joined TAPPI as a sustaining member 25 years ago and have played an important role in the industry and with TAPPI. Congratulations on your anniversaries.
TAPPI's 100-year legacy of providing trusted content, events, and networking would not have been possible without the dedication and support of our volunteers. Our board of directors has played a vital role in building that legacy, and we would like to thank them for their leadership and time. We would also like to thank our retiring TAPPI directors, Fernando Bertolucci and James Jim Cooper, for their service and commitment to the board over the past few years.
And now it's time to introduce you to TAPPI 2020 Fellows Class. It is always an exciting time each year when we can honor this esteemed group of individuals and highlight some of their career accomplishments. Of course, sharing a little dirt about our inductees certainly adds to the excitement. What do you think, Larry?
I agree with you completely. Pete, this roasting our new inductees has always been fun, and this group of fellows certainly gave us some great material to work with this year. But I'm also humbled and awed by this amazing group of individuals. Their technical achievements, service, and leadership have truly helped shape our industry into what it is today. Being named a TAPPI Fellow is one of TAPPI's highest honors, and this year we welcome 9 outstanding members to the 2020 class of TAPPI Fellows. Now let's have some fun with our distinguished guest.
Our first Fellows inductee is John F. Bergen. John earned a Bachelor of Science from Western Michigan University with majors in paper science and chemistry and a minor in mathematics. He also holds an MBA from the University of Wisconsin in marketing and human resources. John started his career with Consolidated Papers, later Stora Enso, as a production engineer and held a series of positions before becoming Senior Vice President of the Global Specialty Papers Group. John retired from Stora Enso in 2006 and is currently the owner of Technical and Investor Consulting. He is also an advisor and investor in Winona Building Products. A TAPPI member since 1967, John served on the Research Management Committee from 1993 to 2000, including terms as Secretary, Vice President, President, and Director on the board. He was also the TAPPI AFPA liaison with the Forest Products Lab for 2 years. John volunteers as a Rotary International Youth Exchange Officer. He is a Paul Harris Fellow and has contributed to the Rotary's worldwide polio elimination project, where he has led 2 international projects in Jakarta, Indonesia. All right, so let's now take a look at the real John Bergen.
One would think, with all of John's volunteer work, he wouldn't have any time for anything else, but I guess I'm wrong. John is known as a ski bunny on the slopes. He spends most of his time riding up and down on the chairlift, working on his face tan. But occasionally, he actually does use his skis. Now you see him looking out there. Now, which way is down, he's thinking.
Yep, I've been told John's confidence on the slopes has grown over the years, much to the chagrin of his family. On family trips, he usually volunteers to lead the group on trails, but tends to get lost every time. On this particular trip, John, his 2 sons, and 4 grandsons were supposed to be on the Hawkeye Trail, but ended up on the Lost Boulder Trail instead. Maybe they should call it the Lost Bergen Trail.
Well, you know John's motto, when if all else fails, it's time to hit the bar. The biggest dilemma for John is whether to drink wine or beer. It looks like John's son Pat made a wise choice. Notice how John's glass is half empty already, or should we say his glass is half full?
Family has always been important to John, and there's no better time to bring the family together than during a wedding. Of course, in this family shot, John looks like he's just happy to sit down and rest his sore feet. Must be due to all the dancing he did at the reception. His wife Sue, on the other hand, looks like she's ready for another foxtrot.
Just take a look at John's 3 sons, Dan, Pat, and John. Together, they could form the offensive line of a football team. Luckily for them, they get their good looks from their mom.
You know, Larry, John has always been a resourceful guy full of great ideas and new business opportunities. He also has a gift for convincing others to join in on his ventures. I wonder if these new business partners even know what hit him. Well, at least they picked up the lunch tab.
Our next 2020 Fellows inductee is Jim Brewster. After nearly 44 years in the pulp and paper industry, Jim retired in 2016. He received his BS in chemistry from Portland State University in 1971 and began his career at the Crown Zellerbach Mill in Camas, Washington. Starting as a cost accountant, Jim soon entered operations as a craft pulping and recovery shift supervisor before becoming assistant mill manager. After 20 years at the Camas Mill, he joined the Irving Craft Mill in St. John, New Brunswick, Canada, as production manager. Due to many of his technical innovations, he was awarded the Canadian Council of Ministers for the Environment Award for Pollution Prevention. In 2001, he was appointed mill manager, a position he held until retirement. Throughout his career, Jim focused on applying science and technical innovations to the manufacturing process. He worked diligently to bring technical understanding of the craft pulping and recovery process to all levels of the organization. He taught pulping and recovery fundamentals from 1994 to the present at the St. John Mill, and in 2006, he joined the faculty of the Craft Recovery Operations short course. Jim has been a TAPPI member since 1985. But now, let's see the other side of Jim.
They say a picture is worth 1,000 words. I can't agree more. Married for 50 years this month, Jim knew he found a keeper with Barbara, and as you can see, he is holding on to her tightly so she can't get away. Congratulations, Jim and Barbara.
Well, it didn't take long for Jim's family to grow. Jim's son David proudly stands with his family at Anderson University in South Carolina, where Jim's granddaughter Elise attends. Sure hope the university gives a friends and family discount. It looks awfully expensive to me.
And the family continued to grow. Jim's daughter Summer is shown here with her family at the lake. We heard they broke a world's record with the most kids pulled behind a speedboat on a raft. I guess mom and dad were the stabilizers.
As you can see, Jim's family kept expanding. His daughter Karen settled in Canada with her family. I think that brings the grand total of grandkids to 18. Whew, goodness gracious, where does Jim find the time to play with them all? He must be a super grandpa.
Looks like Jim's family came home for the weekend. Well, actually, Jim volunteered at a water ski camp for over 38 years. Wonder if that dog in the middle can even slalom.
Show off. Jim made sure Barbara captured him water skiing last September. What he didn't tell us was that he was bedridden for days afterwards. Guess those muscles don't work the way they used to.
Well, you know Jim was proud about his new digester complex. his last major undertaking before retirement in 2016. Of course, he did have a little help. In fact, he had a lot of help. However, it looks like everybody sprang their thumbs in the process. Well, for anyone that's ever been to one of these ceremonies, it's a very distinguished honor to receive a certain item. So I'm just going to go ahead and announce that our next recipient is going to be the award winner of the most coveted prize we have to offer, the I Pronounced Your Name Wrong button. So now I'm pleased to announce our next Fellows inductee, Dr. Przemysław Przezinski. Pirzym received his PhD from Adam Mickiewicz University in Poznan, Poland, in physical organic chemistry. Soon afterward, he started his pulp and paper career at the Dow Chemical Forest Products Research Group in Sarnia. In 1992, he joined Nalco, where he worked for 25 years as group leader for R&D, technical director of corporate pulp and paper research, and finally, principal consultant in the paper group. Pirzym retired from Nalco in October 2017 and currently operates his consulting services company, Przezinski Paper Chemistry Consulting. Pirzym is considered a leading expert in wet end chemistry. He has published over 100 papers and conference contributions and has been granted 6 U.S. patents. Pirzym also has lectured throughout Europe and China. He has been a member of TAPPI since 1992 and in 2008 received the Jasper Morden Award for contributions to the science and technology of papermaking. He has taught TAPPI's wet end chemistry courses for over 10 years. So Larry, with all of Pirzym's travels, I'm sure there's some gossip we can share.
I'm not sure about gossip, Pete, but I can tell you this guy likes high adventure. And when I say high, I mean it. Pirzym even flew his family to the top of an Alaskan glacier for lunch. Can you believe that? Too bad the pilot forgot to fuel up. I think they had to take a dog sled back home again. Do I see Balto in this photo?
Well, we certainly know Pirzym isn't afraid of heights. Of course, this background of the Canadian Rockies looks an awful lot like one of my desktop screensavers. We sure this photo wasn't taken in his garage in front of a green screen?
Rumor has it that Pirzym only joined his Nalco colleagues in New Zealand because he understood there would be a steam bath and saunas. He didn't realize he'd have to get up close and personal with a geyser to get a facial. At least the steam is keeping his pants wrinkle-free.
So I found out why Pirzym was promoted to Nalco's Global Technical Experts Group during his career. Turns out he's the only one that could read a map.
Pete, did you know that Pirzym started running only a few years ago? After 5 days of training, he thought he'd run his first 5K. Rumor has it that he entered the wrong race by mistake. This shot was taken moments after he realized he was running in the Chicago Marathon instead. You could see by his face expression that he is trying his best to figure out how to get out of it. Well, I guess his problem-solving experience in the paper industry came in handy for this dilemma. By the way, he has already completed 11 marathons. I guess that was his lucky mistake.
So why is it that the older we get, the darker our birthday colors become? 70 years young. That is an accomplishment. Glad Pirzym had his family with him to help blow out his birthday candles. There were so many flames on the cake that the caterers had 4 fire extinguishers on hand in case anything went wrong.
Our next Fellows inductee is Jack Tippett. Jack received a PhD in experimental nuclear physics from McMaster University and soon was hired as a programmer at Electronic Associates, a small Canadian company that made QCS systems for paper machines, and by 1990 became a senior executive. Jack played a technical leadership role in developing a number of early systems. In 1992, he was hired by Intech Control Engineering as a process control consultant, where he specializes in process control training, process analysis, and troubleshooting, primarily on paper machines. Jack's goal has been to share what he has learned about the broad field of science, technology, and life with younger generations. Along with publishing a number of technical papers, he co-authored volumes 1 and 2 of the TAPPI Press Paper Machine Quality Control Systems, QCS. He continues to teach and develop training materials as Senior Process Control Consultant at Emerson Automation Solutions. Jack has been a TAPPI member since 1996. Very upstanding member, right? Well, we couldn't come up with any roast ideas until this next photo.
Well, Larry, I'm not sure how armadillo racing helps Jack design a better QCS system, but it sure looks fun. Wonder how much money he had riding on this race.
I heard about Jack's recent trip to Basadia. He was so excited to see the historic area until his camel left him stranded in the desert. Thank goodness there were yellow signs to guide him back to town. He just had to follow the red arrows.
Now there's a man comfortable in his own skin. The grandkids are happy, and Irina just found her missing jewelry.
So, the rumor has it that Jack is an excellent cook. He claims to create tasty meals that could challenge even the finest restaurants in the area. I've got a feeling that his meals actually are from the finest restaurants. Just take a look at his clean apron and counter. That turkey just got delivered by Uber Eats.
Well, it looks like Irina finally caught on. After 45 years of marriage and 4 kids, she suspected something was up. She finally convinced Jack to take her out for dinner. Now, if only that waiter could open the bottle of wine.
You know, Jack loves to sing and garden. The neighbors actually call him Humming Grower. He considers himself an expert on trees and loves to take friends on tours into the nearby forest. Unfortunately, he gets lost every time. Perhaps the quality control guy needs a quality compass.
I am now honored to announce our next fellow, Dr. Roland J. Trepanier. Roland is the president of OpTest Equipment and has over 40 years of experience in the pulp and paper industry. He earned a Bachelor of Science in Chemistry and a PhD in Nuclear Spectroscopy from McGill University. He began his career with Canadian International Paper Research and later joined Norham Quality Control and Research as Technical Director. He later held the positions of Vice President and President. He founded OpTest Equipment Incorporated in 1992. Roland is an expert in fiber and paper physics research. He has published over 40 papers, including 12 in TAPPI Journal and the Journal of Pulp and Paper Science. He also holds 2 patents. A TAPPI member since 1978, Roland is active in the Process and Product Quality Division, serving as the division's secretary, vice chairman, and chairman. He co-chaired the 1999 Engineering Process and Product Quality Conference and the 2000 Pulping Process and Product Quality Conference. He has also served on the Quality and Standards Management Committee of the TAPPI Board of Directors since 1997. In 2005, he was presented TAPPI's Process and Product Quality Division Technical Award and was the recipient of TAPPI's Process and Product Quality Division Leadership and Service Award in 2017. Now let's share what Roland likes to do in his spare time, whether he wants us to or not.
Aha! We've caught him red-handed, or at least somebody did. Roland was one of the original Ghostbusters. Who are you going to call, Roland?
Can anyone say Groundhog Day? So I understand taking your son on a long backpacking trip instead of Disneyland gave you a chance to bond and get in touch with nature. But how did you convince him to do the exact same trip 2 years later? Even your beard looks the same.
Roland is pretending to be posing for a family picture with the kids, but in reality, they're holding him up. With temperatures hovering around negative 24 Celsius, that's negative 11 Fahrenheit, all 3 of them are rethinking their decision to skate on the world's largest outdoor rink. A heated indoor swimming pool sounds much more appealing.
Roland just can't get enough of the cold. It looks like that smile on his face is frozen on.
So 2 years ago, Roland spent Father's Day with his son, David, shooting the rapids. Roland looks like he's praying for survival. Seems the fun turned to fear the first time the freezing water spilled over into the raft. He's probably saying, let's do it again. Not. I am pleased to announce our next TAPPI Fellow to the class of 2020 is Dr. Angela Winsley. Angela is a corrosion expert in the pulp and paper industry. She received her doctorate in metallurgical engineering from the University of British Columbia in 1977 and was soon hired by Macmillan Bloedel Research to study the phenomenon of corrosion in the pulp and paper environments and to perform failure analysis. In 1992, she left Macmillan Bloedel to start her own consulting engineering business, Angela Winsley Engineering. Her global clientele took her around the world. A member of TAPPI since 1979, Angela chaired the Digester Corrosion and Cracking Task Group for 21 years. She has authored over 100 peer-reviewed papers for various publications and was a recipient of the 2009 TAPPI Engineering Division Technical Award and Beloit Prize. She also received the TAPPI Engineering Certificate of Recognition in 2006 and the Certificate of Merit in 1997. In 1992, she received the Dennis Anliker Award. She also has chaired many TAPPI task groups. So now let's get the scoop on what Angela really did on those business trips.
I don't know about you, Larry, but this looks more like a Halloween party than work. Do you think Angela thought she had to dress like a chili pepper because she was working in Chile?
You never know what she's thinking. Okay, I'm starting to see a theme here. Red suit when in Chile and blue suit when working near some Cabernet Sauvignon vines. Is she trying to blend in with the other grapes? At least she was able to enjoy some good wine after hours.
For Angela, being in a continuous digester was like a queen bee in her hive. She felt at home. Rumor has it that Angela was also rehearsing for Cirque du Soleil while doing her inspections.
Hold up, Angela. There are no digesters on this cruise. Well, I guess you'll just have to enjoy the ocean and sandy beaches of Mexico. The digesters can wait.
What an honor to receive an award at the Duplex Conference Banquet in France. Of course, it turned out to be another corkscrew. Oh well, can't have too many of those. I wonder what the guy seated behind Angela is looking at. Never trust a Frenchman wearing a beret.
Did you know that Angela is very superstitious? Before she goes on an inspection, she does a little digester jig. Here she's teaching the dance steps for her colleague. I think they were even considering trying out for America's Got Talent, but that didn't go very far.
That just got me tapping my toes. But now it's time to announce our next fellow and TAPPI's 2020 Gunnar Nicholson Gold Medal Award winner, Mark Lewis. Mark founded Sustainable Fiber Technologies in 2015 and guided the company through the development of the Phoenix process, an environmentally friendly method for pulping non-wood biomass materials. Today, he is CEO of both Sustainable Fiber Technologies and Phoenix Pulp and Polymer. Mark began his education in pulping non-woods 40 years ago at Colorado State University. He was then hired by Weyerhaeuser and later Norem Testing Equipment. He then spent over 17 years at the University of Washington teaching papermaking, fiber physics, and pulping and bleaching. In 2015, he left the university to start Sustainable Fiber Technologies. Mark joined TAPPI in 1978 and was involved in various testing division committees. He also served as TAPPI's student chapter faculty advisor at the University of Washington from 1999 to 2014, and served as an officer with TAPPI's Pacific local section. Currently, Mark chairs the TAPPI Non-Wood Committee. But now let's see the real Mark Lewis.
Mark hit the jackpot when he met Christy. You can see how proud he is to call her his wife in this wedding picture. But I kind of think with that look on her face, Christy's already contemplating her honey-do list.
Well, there's no question here. Jessica and Kate got their good looks from their mother. But dear old dad still makes a great date at the father-daughter dance. With 2 left feet, I sure hope Mark didn't step on their toes too much.
Ah, yes, fast pitch. Mark may not have given his daughters their good looks, but he did help them with their athletic ability. Looks like his coaching wasn't too bad either, since both girls played fast pitch in college. Way to go.
One thing about Mark, he has his priorities straight. Drinking Guinness in Ireland. Who better to join him than another old papermaker, Dick Dudley? They made a pact years ago to see every major golf tournament and completed their quest in Ireland. I hear Mark even played a round of golf over there and shot a 69 on the front 9.
So Mark convinced Christy to go hiking while they were in Ireland. They did over 30,000 steps in the first half hour. Can you imagine? Well, at least that's what their Uber driver said when he checked his odometer.
No roast would be complete without the token fishing shot. Mark brags about catching this marlin while down in Cabo. I suspect the guy next to him really caught the fish and Mark was just posing with it. There's got to be a reason he didn't face the camera for this photo, don't you think?
We're now pleased to induct two new fellows who have just completed their terms on the TAPPI Board of Directors. Fernando Bertolucci has 33 years of professional experience working in the forest products industry. He is currently Chief Technology and Innovation Officer for Suzano, a Brazilian pulp and paper company. Fernando earned his Bachelor of Science in Agronomic Engineering and a Master of Science in Genetics and Plant Breeding from Federal University of Lavras. He also teaches specialization courses including business management, product development, driving strategic innovation, and Global Executive Academy. Fernando started his career as research scientist at the former Mansman Forestal. In 1991, he joined the former Aerocruz Cellulose, now Suzano, where he held different positions, including tree breeding manager, corporate forest planning manager, and technology general manager. His current responsibilities involve corporate leadership of research and technological innovation activities, including forest technology, pulp and paper process, and product development, and biorefinery R&D. Okay, you've heard that side of Fernando. Now let's hear the real side of Fernando Bertolucci.
Even at an early age, Fernando was ready to take charge. It looks like he is holding his first board of directors meeting on his first day of school. I wonder who the other board members were.
This was Fernando's first car. We all know that the only difference between men and boys is the size of their toys. I wonder what his car looks like now. I bet it still has a bell on the handle.
Fernando was already showing his leadership abilities as a teen. He was chosen to be the class speaker at his graduation. Wonder why they had him stand inside a box for his speech.
Fernando and Mauro were made for each other. They look like they're standing on top of the world. It also looks like Fernando is holding on for dear life. Afraid of heights there, Fernando? What's going on?
Fernando is still hoping he will get his letter telling him that he's been accepted into Hogwarts. Every year he tries to get onto platform 9 3/4, but still hasn't had any luck. Do you think someone should tell him that Hogwarts isn't real? Nah, let him just pretend with his family at Universal Studios.
Fernando, I know it was a great honor to be chosen to speak at the UN, but what in the world were you saying? Just look at the folks on the stage with you. The guy in the middle looks like he's ready to fall asleep, and the lady on the right is trying to figure out how to get the heck out of there.
And now it is my honor to announce our final new fellow in the class of 2020 and a member of the TAPPI board who just completed his first term, Don Haig. Don graduated from James Madison University in 1980 and started working for Packaging Corporation of America as a plant supervisor. He worked at PCA for 40 years and was vice president of manufacturing services before he retired. Don has been a TAPPI member since 2013. He currently serves on the board of directors and is also on the executive committee. He is also a Baldridge Executive Fellow. An Eagle Scout, Don continued to serve as a Boy Scout district volunteer. He has served on the board of directors of the Ashland Chamber of Commerce, as a member of the Smithers Quality Assessment Advisory Board, a member of the Ashland Community Improvement Corporation, and was a senior active member of the Ashland Rotary Club. In addition, Don has also served as chairman of the board for the Samaritan Regional Health System, member of the Industrial Council of Ashland, board member of the Ashland Family YMCA, and as a business representative on education, quality, and improvement for Ashland City Schools. And now let's continue the fun.
They say behind every smart and successful man is a smarter woman. What could be more true? We can see that Denise is Don's rock. She is strength and support. She is also the one who wipes the shine off his forehead to avoid blinding the people across from him.
40 years. It seems like only yesterday when the plant was a baby. Where has time gone? Now that Don is retired, he's lucky to have his daughter Alex still working at PCA. She can give him the inside scoop whenever he needs his old PCA fix.
Grandchildren are the best. They also believe anything that Grandpa tells them. I wonder when Ethan will figure out that Grandpa really didn't play with the Harlem Globetrotters.
The family just finished watching the movie Up, and Don's grandkids are sticking close by, hoping that he starts floating towards the sky with those big 60 balloons. Don's just thinking about what he's going to do now that he's retired. Golfing, boating, hiking, skiing, traveling. Anything but working.
Amazing. How in the world do they get a family picture where even the youngest grandchild is smiling nicely into the camera? Of course, he did have to bring his Matchbox car into the shot. Wonder if that's Don's dream car.
That concludes our virtual awards ceremony. I'm happy you joined us to celebrate our new 2020 Fellows inductees. It certainly was a fun time, and we're honored to have these 9 exceptional leaders in the class of 2020. Let's give them a virtual applause.
I also invite you to attend in person our 2021 Fellows ceremony, which will be held during TAPPICon 2021 in Atlanta, Georgia. This exciting interactive conference will pull 6 TAPPI events into one location. We look forward to seeing you there.
Now let's give our new fellows a chance to defend their honor. Just click on the link on the same landing page as this video and join our Zoom after party. Thanks to everybody for joining us, sticking around to have a little bit of fun. Like I said, it's interesting times. It's usually a lot more fun when we get to stand up and do these things in person and let your friends and family see you get a little rosy and share some laughs. But we're gonna do the best we can. You heard the best roast we can do when we're using canned material. But just to be clear, I am in Green Bay, Wisconsin, so I apologize if the jokes were too cheesy, maybe even a little corny. But that's all I've got. I want to thank, on behalf of the board of directors and the 7,000 plus global members of TAPPI, for everything our new fellows have done for TAPPI, for the industry, for people that they've mentored throughout their careers, and all the research and things that they've accomplished. So you've truly earned the right or the name of TAPPI Fellow today. And at this point forward, we're going to give you a few minutes to rebut the roast that we did. So John, you are the first man up, so go for it.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
All right. Well, first of all, thank you very much to TAPPI. And I'd like to make a shout out to Chuck Class and Mark Sorensen and Mike Kashurik and Jim Namick for assisting with my nomination. And I didn't have to pay them a thing. So TAPPI has been, I guess, part of my life as a young man. I got involved right away in local Lake States TAPPI. And I think I remember probably the most nervous I ever was my first presentation to TAPPI. And my boss was sitting in the audience to make me doubly nervous because he had warned me about not giving away any secrets. So I didn't know what the hell I might say wrong. But anyway, I got through it, and since then it's been easier to make presentations. I also spent like 16 years with TAPPI's partner organization, or one of the partner organizations, and that's PIMA. Most of my career was in manufacturing management, so shout out to PIMA as well and some of their programs that were very helpful to me along in my career. And then later, I became a research director, and I found that TAPPI Research Management was a great asset. We toured the national labs and had some great colleagues that were part of that organization at the time. We made a tour of Scandinavia and looked at a lot of their technology, which was significant at the time. So that was a great gig. Also, I'd like to shout out to TAPPI. I spent 13 years as managing director of the Paper Tech Foundation at Western. And I think TAPPI's contribution to our youth and getting them oriented to the industry is outstanding. And I want to encourage the continuation of that. The TAPPI Student Summit, I think, is outstanding. It gives the kids an opportunity to show their stuff. And we really should continue those types of programs and of course, continue on with YP. So I've enjoyed TAPPI, its resources, and all the colleagues that I've worked with and met over the years at the programs. And the roast really wasn't too bad, but every chance that I can get on some boards, even if I get lost on Lost Boulder, I'm A-okay with it. As a matter of fact, I can recall skiing at Whitecap in northern Wisconsin and not ever having skied there before. Didn't know the trails, and I think I skied for like 3 hours trying to find my way back to the chalet one time. So it's a hell of a good way to get lost. All right, thank you.
Up next, Jim.
Well, hi, everybody. I don't know what they said about me, so it won't be a rebuttal in any sense of the word. I am very humbled and grateful for the award. I'm kind of an obscure person. All of these others are famous researchers, and I've just been slugging away in pulp mills for 44 years and recently retired. But a special thanks to Dr. Hongi Tran, who sponsored me, and I got to know Hongi a number of years, a long time ago, and then he asked me to be on the faculty of the KROS program. So that's really, he made this happen for me. Actually, I've kind of had two careers, which you can see from the pictures there. In addition to the 44 years in the pulp business, Barbara and I have been involved in leading high school water ski camps with our churches for 38 years. The last one was in 2016 when we retired from Canada. So that was just a great opportunity, a great blessing for our lives as well. Barbara and I just celebrated our 50th wedding anniversary a couple weeks ago, and she's as beautiful as ever. She's been my #1 cheerleader the whole time, put up with the late nights during startups and after maintenance outages and operating problems and the phone calls, and just great. I've always enjoyed mentoring young people, and really the last, since 2005, when I've been on the faculty with KROS, it's been a great opportunity and really a lot of fun. Got to meet a lot of the people that I read and used their work, applied it in my business, and just really happy. So congratulations to all the award winners, and special thanks to TAPPI for putting on this program. And I hope I can get a link and then watch the program later.
All right. I don't know that I'll even try it again. I got to pre-record the other one and got to always redo it if I said it wrong, but I'll say Pierzim. That close enough?
That's,
get you going?
That's close enough. I accept everything.
Floor is yours.
Do you hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, with the name like this, you have to accept everything, but also you have to shorten it to Pshem. Yes, I also had 2 careers in my life. First one was academia, about 20 years, and then 30 years in the industry. And please do not add these numbers together, okay? And when I joined paper industry in 1990s, I really couldn't recognize the wet end from the dry end. Doesn't mean that it changed a lot, but I was really very blessed by the fact that the paper makers and the customers accept me as for who I am, wet end chemistry, and they trusted me trusted my how to say recommendations. Not that they're always perfect, but I grew with them. I got a lot of support from my customers. Many of them became my longtime friends, and that's probably the major achievement of my life, living the friendships of the people who are mentoring me and helping me to grow as a paper maker when I already started as a chemist. I have to first of all thank TAPPI for that recognition. I'm humbled and very privileged to be a part of that list of the very of the TAPPI fellows. And also I have to recognize the contribution of Martin Hubie, who have who have prepared the recommendation, and Peter Hart, who tried to do that a few years earlier. I started my career with NALCO and worked for NALCO for 25 years. And I have to say, and thank NALCO as well as all my colleagues from NALCO for the support, for good training, and for allowing me to grow my career like an extension of academic career based on the technicalities, science, allowing me to publish papers, teaching the courses. And one of the courses I've been teaching for many years is a TAPPI introductory wet and chemistry course, which I really took it very seriously, and it was a big responsibility, I think, because that is like an extension of that early academic part of my year. And at the end, I have to also thank my family, and my wife is with me here, and my little 10 years old boy, and 9 years old.
All right, all right. Good deal, good deal.
Yeah. Well
Congratulations.
done. And for them, and also I have two older sons, both living in Canada, Andrew and Rafael. They all put together with my long trips, being away from home for weeks at a time, and that time spent with the paper makers all over the world, in every corner where paper is being made. And as a reflection of that, I flew about 4 million miles, real miles on my job. Now, getting back to your presentation, which I truly enjoyed, I really found the way out of that the Toronto Marathon, which you saw the picture. And that was the way to the finish line. And that was a long 4 hours run, which wasn't that bad, if not the fact that my wife beat me by 1 minute. And I didn't know about that. Only found out about this when we met together at the parking lot at our car. So once again, TAPPI, thanks you very much for the recognition and including me into the list of the TAPPI fellows. Thank you very much.
All right, our next fellow, Mr. Jack Tibbett.
Great, yes. Well, I certainly would like to thank the people who put my name forward for the award. I suspect it was members of the QCS textbook team. I really appreciate that. I would also like to suggest that part of the reason might have been that my failure to lose Seihan and Debbie on the west coast of Vancouver Island may have encouraged him to put me forward. So I do appreciate that. I think you may have not quite accurately assessed my normal attire. That's how my grandkids like to decorate me, but I normally wear my Tilly hat, Canadian hat, that is made by Tilly, and I have a number of these hats, which I will not wear all at the same time, although I have tried it out and I can explain the mathematical theory behind wearing multiple hats. And I wear it in the mills where they allow me, although they have looked dubiously when I've done this, because that doesn't quite sound like it's safe, but it's useful because they can find me when I get lost. Anyway, thank you very much. I appreciate this opportunity that you've given me.
Congratulations, Jack.
All right.
Pete, I'm going to interject real quick. Some of you may have not heard earlier, but Jack and I have communicated the last few weeks. He wasn't sure he was going to be able to make this or not. He'd been on a 6-month waiting list to have heart surgery in Canada. And it was back and forth. And he emailed me, I think earlier this week or last week, I can't remember now, but yeah, he was out and everything went well. So congratulations, Jack. Answered prayers there for you, my friend, you and your family. And thank you for being able to be with us tonight.
Well, thank you very much. I have to say, I've noticed a wonderful parallel between restart after having heart surgery and a paper machine restart after a major overhaul.
Up next, Roland, you have the floor.
Thank you, Larry and Pete, for a roast worthy of a Friars Club. Sadly, it's hard to have a rebuttal because you guys are more or less spot on. But your comments remind me of a line by Groucho Marx. Upon hearing his induction to the Friars Club, he quipped that he would never join a club that would have him as a member. Next, I'd like to send a shout out to Mary Beth, who suggested that we should wear a funny hat. I don't own any, and why would I want to cover such a wonderful mane? One advantage of having a ceremony via Zoom is I can finally strike off from my bucket list the opportunity to speak to a distinguished group of my peers without wearing any pants. Pete stood up. I can't stand up because I'm not wearing any pants. I'm not wearing any. Anyways, finally, and most importantly, I wish to thank my nominators, my many friends and colleagues who've been a privilege to know during my many years at TAPPI as a member and a volunteer. Thank you very much.
Next, Miss Angela, let's hear from you.
Speak. Am I on?
Yes.
Yes.
Good. Oh, okay. Well, I like Jim, I don't know who on earth put my name forward for this great honor. But but here's my Tilly hat for one thing. So there's two of us with Tillys.
I like it.
And so I've narrowed it down to three people who could have been responsible. Maybe it was Sandy Sharp, maybe it was Hongi Tran, or maybe it was Andy Garner. So if you were responsible, thank you very much. I also I'm having a bit difficulty speaking because of my Parkinson's disease, which is now got a hold of my damn throat. But what the heck, I'm still here kicking. And let's see. Oh yes, the wine. I had a choice between either going into the wine business or staying in the paper business. And I'm glad I chose the latter, because this is the way that I can tell you that if you want to end up with $1 million in the wine business, you start with 2 million. And that's it. Thanks for a lot for Wendy, who behind the scenes masterminded all of my meetings and things like that. So she is. And yeah, I think I'll leave it there because I'm losing my voice again. So you get off easy, you guys. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Nice job.
All right, Mr. Lewis, second time to see you this week. So let's hear it.
Yeah, Pete. It's an interesting difference this time, however. On Tuesday night, I was talking about young professionals. Tonight, it's a retiree party, and Roland and I are not retired. If you saw the synergy, though, Roland and I did work together a number of lifetimes ago for both of us with NORAM testing equipment. So Roland, again, congratulations to you and to all of the fellows this trip through. I am still in awe of being named the Gunnar Nicholson Award winner. Doing non-woods is, I don't know, maybe coming back into play after we left it for all those years. Tuesday night, I was at our facility in Eastern Washington. Now I'm at our office in Renton because we've been pulping hemp all week over there, and this town of 2,500 people now smells like everybody's been smoking cannabis, which is completely legal in Washington State. I really want to thank my family for persevering through all this. And so much that actually one of my daughters has joined the party here. Those of you that don't know, SFT is full of millennials, besides my old sorry butt. I think the next oldest person in the whole organization between Phoenix and SFT is 40 years old. And that's Ed Draper, a former student of mine who was also a paper maker for Sunoco. I want to thank TAPPI as a tremendous organization, but what I really want to thank you for, and I know you guys weren't around, was back in '78, and Roland can vouch for this, they had the pre-teen membership that we were allowed to sign up when we were 10 to join TAPPI back in '78 to do all this. So thank you again to everybody. Once again, congratulations, and have a great rest of the evening. Thank you.
Mark, that was good. I've got to tell you real quick, Pete. Now I know how to get those membership numbers up. That's what they did.
The 3 teams.
They gave them membership at birth.
Oh,
That's pretty cool.
fantastic. Fernando, you get your time. I'd say thank you very much for your service to the board over the last few years and all of your guidance. So now it's your time to rebut.
Thank you. Can you hear me well?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So thank you, Pete, for this unforgettable induction. In the video, it's unforgettable. And for all that crazy stuff that you said during my induction, Larry. So it's really remarkable. Well, a lot of emotion here. It has been a great pleasure working with TAPPI during the last years. And I really enjoyed the positive interactions and partnership with you both during my board time. It was a great time in my life. Well, the recent facts are showing to all of us that more than ever, we are living in a complicated and fast-changing world with interconnected problems and challenges. In this context, I have no doubt that TAPPI offers several ways and platforms to integrate efforts championed by several actors, looking for solution-oriented partnerships. So being part of this association is a great honor for me. I can say, without fear of making any mistake, that I have received much more from TAPPI than I have given to the association. Therefore, thank you, Pete, Larry, and the entire TAPPI for this recognition. This matters a lot for me, a lot. I also would like to thank, of course, God for the life, and thank my parents, brothers, my wife, and my kids for all love that they share with me every day. I have to say that I'm a very happy man. And just to let you know, so my mother, she's 84 years old. My mother and my brothers are attending this video as well. And of course, I have my family with me here. So to conclude, my kids would like to share with all of you a final message, please. So let's see the message from them. Where's that? Okay. So you can see
That's nice.
we love that, but also we love Disney as well, of course.
I love Disney as well. That's better. Yeah. That's great, guys.
So
Fantastic.
thank you very much. It has been a great pleasure. And congratulations for all new TAP fellows. It has been a great honor to be part of this. Thank you, Pete and Larry mainly. So I hand over to you again. Thank you.
All right. And I would say certainly not last but not least, Mr. Haig, some things you'd like to say?
Well, absolutely. You know, I've got my hat on for a reason. I don't want to blind anybody here on this.
Oh, no. Sorry, Don.
But anyway, I want you to notice, you know, I got a little job title up there that I'm really proud of now. And Larry was pushing earlier trying to find out what that meant. I don't know if you can see the initials there, PIP, if you can see that.
Yeah, sir.
But I'm really proud of that title. You know, since I've retired, it's been a great thing. And what it stands for is previously important person. So I'm enjoying retirement right now. I'm sure I'm going to be actively involved in a lot of different things. I already started back on the hospital foundation board and those types of things. And obviously I'm honored to continue to be involved on the board at TAPPI. It's been a great organization. I know that my company that I worked for before I retired was very, very active, involved on the box side of the business as your customer to most of you there. It's been a great industry to be a part of, and I've truly enjoyed that. So I want to thank the board. I want to thank TAPPI. I want to thank Larry, all the folks associated on the box side, you know, and it's been a great experience. So looking forward to the future. Thank you.
Congratulations, Don. Thank you. And as he mentioned, he's gonna remain on the TAPPI board on the executive committee, and he's going to be on those lines to move on up the chain. So Don, we appreciate you. You've done an awesome job for us, and we look forward to continuing that relationship. Thank you.
And I think, as always, we have the opportunity for you to nominate people that you feel are worthy for the title of TAPPI Fellows. Nominations due August 1st. And then I think everyone hopefully has heard about TAPPICon, the let's keep our fingers crossed. The potential to get together in person in 2021 down in Atlanta. 6 different events within this conference, so it could be a great time for everybody to get back together from all across the paper industry and reconnect and see how we're going to keep moving forward. So please mark it on your calendars. We hope to see you there. With that being said, I don't think there's an end date to this party, Larry. I mean, I think it could go all night, but that is the conclusion of our ceremony. Again, I wish everybody to stay safe, stay healthy, and we hope to see each other again in person as soon as we can.
Perfect.
Thank you, Pete.
Great. So long, everybody. Again, everyone.
Thank you.
Proud of you.
Thank you, guys. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
Yeah, take care.
Hope to see you
Be
soon.
safe.
Be safe. You too.